Fox News alert stunning new details on the suspect accused of stabbing 4 college students to death in Idaho. How he reportedly stalked his victims for weeks and the precautions he took to keep from being caught. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Fox News Live. I'm Julie Banderas.
And I'm Anita Vogel. Julie, great to be with you and Happy New Year. Brian Kohberger reportedly went to great lengths to hide his fingerprints in the weeks after the murders, even wearing gloves to the grocery store. A source telling the Daily Mail, quote, "He's not stupid and he has been very careful." Dan Springer is live from Moscow, Idaho with the latest on this. Dan, stalking his victims for weeks. What more can you tell us?
Well, Anita, we are getting a little clearer picture of Brian Kohberger from people who knew him growing up in Pennsylvania and also classmates of his and students at Washington State University, which is about 10 miles away from where we are here in Moscow, where the murders took place near the University of Idaho. We're also getting a little more detail about the days leading up to the arrest. Police arrested Kohberger early Friday morning at his parents' house in eastern Pennsylvania. According to the Daily Mail, investigators had been tracking him for 4 days and finally saw him in his white Elantra. Now, back on December 7th, police said they were looking for a Hyundai Elantra, and one was picked up on surveillance video at a nearby business. The Daily Mail is also reporting that Kohberger's father flew out to Washington State, then joined his son on the 2,000-mile road trip back to Pennsylvania in that Elantra in early December. Kohberger's public defender said he was shocked by the arrest, and he apparently asked police if anyone else had been arrested. He's going to waive extradition, we're told. At a court appearance on Tuesday, his lawyer saying Kohberger is, quote, eager to be exonerated. His family broke their silence late yesterday with a statement saying, in part, "We have fully cooperated with law enforcement agencies in an attempt to seek the truth and promote his presumption of innocence rather than judge unknown facts and make erroneous assumptions, and will continue to let the legal process unfold. As a family, we will love and support our son and brother." Classmates in the criminal justice PhD program at WSU say he was keenly interested in the psychology of criminals. Childhood friends describe him as quiet, smart, and awkward, especially towards women. This past term, he was a teaching assistant at WSU, and one student of his said his tough grading got a little easier around the time of the murders. And a fellow PhD student also noticed a change.
So, looking back at the Tom following the homicides overnight in Moscow, Idaho, I did notice that he was showing up to class a little late sometimes. He always had a coffee in hand. He always seemed to be just perpetually exhausted. And most of that as a graduate student, that is not unusual.
And of course, that interview done by the News Nation. And Anita, we are outside the Latah County Jail and the Sheriff's Office here in Moscow, and this is where he could be brought back as early as Tuesday. If he waives that extradition hearing on Tuesday in Pennsylvania, he could be on a plane brought out here, and then he could actually be in court, which is also next to this building in the jail here, as early as Wednesday. So we're waiting for all that to happen, but the big next development is on Tuesday in Pennsylvania when he is expected to waive his extradition. Anita?
Dan, great report. Some interesting new details there, but so much more to learn. Dan Springer, thank you so much for that live report.
Yeah.